Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Mustache MMA with the very first episode of Best Bets, where we go through the entire card of the UFC cards, and we go through each fight and break down our best bets for each of those fights. This episode, we're gonna go over Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze card coming up this Saturday, and I got a special guest here, one of the contributors from SteadyPicks.com. Good to have him here, Tom. How you doing?
Sean, I am doing fantastic. So nice to be on the show today. Thanks so much for having me here.
Of course, man. Glad to have you. And if you guys don't know, SteadyPicks.com, a free betting consultation website. Awesome. They give so much stuff, good information that you guys should eat up. SteadyPicks system has a proven run where they consistently have positive units in just about every sport. They also have contributor picks from Tom himself, Ricky and Donnie. Really great stuff, so definitely check them out. If I didn't mention it, it is free to sign up. All you have to do is sign up with an email. They also have a great radio show, Steady Picks Radio, where they have a plethora of shows, and they go over a bunch of different topics, cover a bunch of different sports. So really cool website, completely free, which you don't see very often, so definitely go ahead and check that out. One thing to notice, yeah, man. Anything you wanted to add that I missed, maybe?
No, that's perfect. We take a lot of pride in being very, transparent with what we do and doing the show every morning. We do it every morning, 5 days a week. And that's where we give a lot of our best bets. I do a lot of tennis. We do a lot of baseball during baseball season, of course, the NFL. But it's a fantastic platform, and I invite you to check one out because we have some cool guests and we do a lot of cool things. So thank you so much for bringing that up.
Yeah, of course, man. Glad I had a good spiel there for you guys.
I have to interrupt you for a moment. This will be the first time that I've ever been on camera, on video.
Oh.
The history of anything I've ever done, Steady Picks, sports betting related, Steady Picks.
So the Steady Picks, the viewers, they don't know what you look like, man. This is the first time. Yeah. Wow, look at that.
So I just had to throw that. I was sitting there this morning ready to do this. I'm like, this is going to be the first time on video. So pretty cool. Awesome,
man. Good to hear. On top of that, we're actually doing a little challenge with SteadyPicks.com. We're doing call it a 5-unit challenge. And we're going to do teams. So it's going to be me and Tom here, and we're going to give our best 5-unit plays. I believe we're going to do 5 picks, 1 unit each. And we're going up against Ricky, another contributor on SteadyPicks.com, and none other than Sean Brady, man, top 10 welterweight in the UFC. So really awesome and exciting to kind of go up against them and kind of show what I got and what Tom got and see if we can beat these guys, man.
And this morning, yesterday on the show, we had Sean Brady on our show in the morning, and I talked a big game for us, Sean. Here, I said this Mustache MMA guy is the real deal. I said, you think you know what you're talking about? Got no idea. And so I really talked for about a 40-minute show. All I did was pummel them, said we're going to kick their butt. So we got some big shoes to fill. That portion is recorded already over on the Steady Picks Radio, all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple. That portion of the video is already recorded, or of the audio rather, is recorded already over there. So the episode is named UFC Fight Night. We posted it yesterday. That's how you can hear their 5 picks. Our 5 picks. Mustache here, Sean and I. That'll be on this show.
Yes, sir. And you want me to recap their picks really quick so we can kind of equate what we're doing?
No.
Let them go.
Unless you want. I was gonna say you got to go listen to it if you want to see what theirs are. But I guess you can recap them. It's up to you.
We'll cap it at the end.
Okay.
All right. So let's get into it, man. Let's go ahead and get into these fights and see what kind of picks we got going on.
Beautiful.
All right. Starting from the bottom here, we got TJ Brown versus Charles Rosa. Since you're the guest, Tom, I'll go ahead and start here with you. You got any picks on this one?
Sure. This is not one that I'm very interested in. For those who don't know, I'll lay a little bit of groundwork. One of the things that I strive to do and kind of the strategy that I have behind any bets that I'm making is we're really looking at market manipulation, market value. Where's the line moving? Are we getting the line move? We're chasing steam a little bit. That's kind of what I like to do, but especially for something that I'm not an absolute expert in. Well, you never know as much in anything, in any sport that you think you do, right? But what I try to do is look for opportunities in the market where it makes sense and where that can guide me to make a play. Here, the line opened. Charles Rosa plus 220 is about where it opened. Come back 278, minus 278 on Brown. And we've kind of seen it stay right there. Rosa's taken a little bit of action. It's down to like plus 205. So a little bit of action on Rosa, I would say. A little bit of money coming in on him. But I personally, there's nothing here that excites me.
Yeah, Tom, I'm in the same boat, really. I mean, I think KJ Brown could pretty much easily win this one here. I think he's kind of levels above Charles Rosa everywhere besides the grappling. But yeah, the price for me is just too much to put on TJ Brown. I don't think he's that great of a fighter, and for the chance of him potentially getting caught in any kind of submission, I totally agree with you. This is just a big pass for me. And I was trying to look on the sports books for any kind of prop bets to potentially do, and I know this one doesn't have any prop bets as of right now. So just going off the money line, it's a total pass for me.
Yeah, I say we skip it. We don't need this one.
All right, moving on to Brian Kelleher versus Kevin Croon. Any bets here for you, Tom?
I believe, I'm not sure yet. I'm curious. This is one of the ones I was really curious to see your thoughts on because part of this kind of interests me. I actually almost like the dog here with Kevin Croon. I think 225. Plus 225, plus 240. It's just a little bit too much, right? This line opened plus 240. It's down to as low as plus 200. So we got 40 cents of line movement going towards Kevin Croon. And that's tough to ignore. And it seems like the percentages and the respected people that I listen to and watch, they think Kevin Croon's going to be a live dog here. So I don't know if that's the best way to do because we got a lot of fights left. But if I had to lean one way, I'm actually leaning Kevin Croon, believe it or not. Okay,
cool. Interesting play. I know I can't argue with it, especially at that price, man. It's a great price. I probably lean Brian Kelleher here, but, a couple things to mention is, Kelleher is a bantamweight, and he is fighting up at featherweight where Kevin Croon is. Another thing is Kevin Croon's got about a 9-inch reach, so potentially if he's able to really use that reach to his advantage and keep Kelleher away and maintain that distance, he could just jab him up all day potentially. The thing I do kind of worry about Kevin Croon is, he took this fight on 3 days' notice, and he's already got a pretty questionable gas tank. In my opinion, it seems like he does kind of go all out in the first round and then just slows down significantly in the second, and then even more in the third. And with 3 days notice, not a full, camp. Yeah, thank you. Not a full camp on this. I mean, it's hard to trust him. If I had to pick one way or the other, betting wise, I think I would definitely go with the dog. I mean, about minus 300 for Brian Kelleher, a little too much. I mean, I don't hate Kelleher as maybe a parlay play. But definitely not straight up. I just don't see really any value there. So this is a pass for me as well.
Because at the end of the day, fighting is kind of like one punch can do anything. And when you've got two guys that really aren't, they haven't faced a lot of really other tough opponents, right? You look at both of their histories. Keller maybe has fought some better. It's definitely fought some better guys, but nobody where you're like, wow, I can't believe he fought him and won or had it close or whatever. So when it comes down to those kind of things, I often lean dog, but I still don't think either of these should be a play for the contest. No.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, yeah, Kelleher has fought some top competition, but he seems to kind of get pretty like dominated in those fights. And then when he does fight like the lower level guys, he tends to kind of win in pretty dramatic fashion with a finish or just a dominant decision win. So he's kind of like one of those gatekeeper guys. And you know, I see him beating Kevin Croon here, but again, don't hate the plus money play here, but definitely a pass for me. All right. Moving on to Ramiz Brahimaj and Court Mcgee. Any interest in this one, Tom?
I think I do. I think I do.
I got interest in this one too. So who you got here?
And yeah, as a disclaimer, we have not like talked about what we like here. This was going to be, we said, let's just do it on the show and see what we come out with. My play here is on Court Mcgee. And a couple of reasons. I look at that makes, oh, don't say okay. That makes it sound like you might be on the other side. But I remember distinctly that fighting against Sean Brady, like some of his fights I do remember watching and remember thinking like, okay, this guy's kind of got something to him. The Brady fight, I thought he was pretty good in. Unanimous decision, lost. Carlos Condit, that wasn't very good. And then he beat Claudio Silva, which was fine. Unanimous decision. If I had to go one way, I think my pick is on Court Mcgee. I was looking for a to go the distance number on this fight because that's what I really wanted to bet when I looked at this. But I was having trouble finding. I know some of them aren't posted. You know how it goes, but that was the one I was really interested in. Was like a go the distance or over, 1.5 or 2.5 rounds, whatever the number is that they offer.
Right.
What are your thoughts? I'm
taking a quick look now. It looks like fight to go the distance is actually minus 154. I actually, although it's at minus money, I also do see value in that. I mean, Court Mcgee, he's tough to finish. He only finished once in his entire career, getting knocked out by Santiago Ponzinibbio. And he's fought a lot of tough competitors. I mean, Brady's a finisher. Carlos Condit is a finisher. So on and so on. So, I mean, I do see value in that minus 154. However, Tom, I am actually on the other side with Ramiz. So, I mean, it's hard to say here because Brahimaj, it's that gas tank question, is this guy able to put on like the crazy pace that he usually does? I mean, he's known for his really, really good heavy top control pressure. And you'll see that on his resume. He has 9 of his wins. All 9 are from submission. And I believe almost all of them are in his first round. So he's able to get you down. He's really good at transitioning on the ground and getting you in bad spots and kind of grabbing that neck and choking you out. So I am on Brahimaj here, but, it's a pick 'em for a reason. Like, this is a tough one to call. Court Mcgee never been finished. Court Mcgee, on the other hand, he is an excellent gas tank. He has the cardio for days. And, I like Brahimaj here because I think he's definitely going to win the first round. And I see him edging out a second round too before maybe getting tired and Court Mcgee taking over in the third. Obviously the thing is Court Mcgee does have pretty good takedown defense. He does get taken down, but he's good at getting back to his feet. He's good at limiting damage. But again, on the other hand, Brahimaj is just probably one of the better offensive grapplers with that top pressure that he'll have that he's going to face. Court Mcgee also aging, the younger guy in Brahimaj. So, yeah, I mean, I like Brahimaj here. I'm going to put a personal unit on the Brahimaj money line, and I'm actually going to put a half a unit on Brahimaj by decision. Money line at minus 108, a pick 'em, and then the decision by plus 240. Since we're split here, I definitely do like minus 145, minus 154 for the fight to go the distance. It makes me a little weary because Brahimaj, he is really capable of getting that sub really quickly. But I think Court Mcgee has the composure and good enough wrestling defense to kind of counter that. I have seen Court Mcgee recently take some shots, though, and get rocked. I mean, when he fought Cars Condit, he got clipped at the end of the first and, didn't know where he was. If there was, 10 seconds left in that fight, he was finished. But I don't think Brahimaj has that striking power or striking skills similar to Condit, so I don't see that. The only way I see Mcgee getting finished is potentially getting subbed, and I don't see Mcgee finishing Brahimaj either unless he really gasses hard and he's done by the second round. So I'm all for putting a unit. Go ahead, Tom.
From listening to your explanation, I think the best play we can make here is Brahimaj to win by decision at plus 225. I think, because I do think this was my one play on this fight, and I couldn't find that. But now that I'm looking at that this morning, I wasn't having luck finding it. But DraftKings has him here. Plus 225 is the number I see. I think that's the one we take.
All right, let's throw a unit on that for our 5-unit challenge against Brady and Ricky. I'm all down for that, man.
There's our first play.
Sweet,
fantastic. We came to the first play. All right,
plus money too, and pretty decent plus money at what do we got? 225.
225, and we could shop it around a little. Not a lot of books will have them posted, so we'll do a little shopping, but 225, I think, is the best number we're going to get.
Cool. I checked a couple hours ago on FanDuel. It was plus 240, but that obviously probably could have changed. So, yeah, we'll get the best line, whatever it is, at the end of the card or at the end of the video. All right. Next fight here we got. Yes, sir. I am not a shopper. I am like a one-book kind of guy, and I know Tom, listen on Steady Picks Radio, man, he preaches multiple books, find the best lines. It's honestly smart, man. And you know what? I'm just too lazy to do it.
That's okay. That's okay. At least add one more to your get two.
Right.
Start with
All right. Next fight we got Jamie Pickett versus Joseph Holmes. Tom, any picks here on this one you got?
I love this. Might be my favorite fight of the entire card, besides Chookagian. But this, not even betting wise, just like what I'm excited to see.
Oh, nice.
You got two middleweights going after this, and they both have pretty interesting track records, right? Pickett has beat Staropoli. Yeah, that's how you say it. Staropoli. Mm-hmm. Beat him by decision in his last time out, which was great for him. You look at Joseph Holmes. However, he's like the real exciting one here with, 7 wins in a row, 8 wins in a row, something like that, just cruising through people. I think it's 7 wins straight. Mm-hmm. Lost his first professional fight and has won 7 since then. A couple bouts of, Muay Thai and some other leagues here, but Contender Series as well. But I think I'm all over him, man. Joseph Holmes, the guy, 26 years old, born in 95, 26 years old, big time reach. Give me him. Minus 150 is the best number. That's the pick that I like in this, and that is going to be a unit for me. The guy's nickname is Ugly Man. How are you not going to back that?
And to be honest, he's not a bad-looking guy, so I wonder how he got that nickname, man, Ugly Man. He's not like, oh my God, shielding your eyes, he's ugly as shit. But hey, man, whatever suits it for your nicknames. I don't know how they come up with these. Go bit. Anyway, on my end, when I first was looking at this fight, I was the same way, Tom. I was like all over Joseph Holmes. I think I liked everything about him. I thought he had the edge, honestly everywhere. I mean, he has the rest. I think he has the better wrestling. The striking is probably pretty close. Maybe give an edge to Pickett, but it's super close. From a grappling standpoint, I think Holmes has the advantage as well. The thing that kind of irks me a little bit about this is both these guys have an 80-inch reach advantage, which is actually like huge for the middleweight division. And this is going to be the first time for both of them where they don't have a reach advantage. So it's going to be really interesting to see kind of what's going on here. Another thing that makes me weary is both these guys don't throw a lot of volume on the feet. So, it makes me nervous that they're going to be sitting there watching a lot of clinch situations, not a whole lot of punches thrown. So, it may be like a really close decision type thing, I'm thinking, potentially. But I do see Joseph Holmes having the finishing ability out of these two. I see him just being able to get those takedowns. I don't think Jamie Pickett has the best takedown defense, and I see Joseph Holmes being able to get that takedown early and often. And I think Joseph Holmes has good enough top pressure, and he has a good amount of submissions on his resume to where he can kind of get through his guard and work his way to full mount and then get the back and put in the choke. So when I first saw this, I was all over maybe inside the distance for Holmes. But then I kind of backed up a little because the volume and everything. And, this could go to a decision potentially because Jamie Pickett, he's fought some tough guys. In the UFC, he's only been finished once by Jordan Wright, who is just kind of a all-out brawl, first-round kind of guy. Either I finish you or you finish me.
Right.
So then I kind of switched over to Holmes, submission or points. But then, he could get a ground and pound knockout potentially. So, man, I'm not sure either. I think the play here is probably Joseph Holmes. I'm going to lean that way, but I'm not going to make an official pick for myself. What do you think, Tom? Maybe we...
I don't think this should be a unit on our card.
Yeah, maybe we come back to it if we don't like anything else later.
Because Holmes, I can't say I've seen, this is his first fight in the UFC. So I just love those guys because I think they bring that extra edge to the octagon when it's their first time in there. I think they bring, even though they maybe are a little timid, it depends who it is, but I think Joseph Holmes can kind of get it done. To go the distance plus 110 isn't a terrible number on these two, but and if we need to come back and fill one, but I don't think this is urgently one that we got to have.
I also looked at that fight to go to distance too, and did kind of like that plus money value. But again, I just don't know what I'm going to see out of Holmes. A lot of first round finishes from him, a lot of second round finishes, and Jamie Pickett has kind of shown to be pretty durable in his UFC career. Again, only finished once. So yeah, let's keep it in our back pocket and maybe we'll come back to it.
Perfect.
All right.
I agree.
Cool. Always good to be on agreement. Joe Anderson Brito versus Bill Algeo. Local guy for me. Algeo's got his gym actually about 20 minutes up 202 right from my apartment building. So I like Algeo a lot. A little biased just for people's awareness here. But Tom, any picks for this one?
But I was kind of against Bill Algeo here pretty heavily. I'm afraid he's not that good, right? He's gone to a lot of decisions in his career. There's been a lot of decisions, a lot of unanimous decision wins and losses. I don't know if he's that good. I hate to say that. Where on the other side, Joe Anderson, Brito, is an absolute killer, right? Dude never goes through. He's won, gosh, how many in a row? 10 fights in a row. That makes me like him a lot. And you're getting him at a price. Again, let's look at the market to confirm what our eyes say. Minus 125 it opened. Down to minus 135, 140. So the market is in agreement that Joe Anderson might be a decent play. 10 cents a line movement in his favor. I think this is one of my favorite. I think this could even be inside the distance, worthy. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this one? I'm all over Joe Anderson though.
Okay. I would say I lean the Bill Algeo side, but I don't hate a Joe Anderson Brito play, to be honest. I mean, this guy, you watch any of his fights, this dude is aggressive, in your face, just swinging like crazy, consistently aggressive with his takedowns and his pressure. And, he's shown that his cardio is really not a factor with that kind of pace, which is crazy. I mean, he puts a crazy pace on at times. Again, I lean Algio here just because, Joe Anderson Brito, although he has the power, I just don't think the technical skill is there with his striking. And I think Algio has the edge in technicality in striking, while Brito has the edge in power. Now, in terms of wrestling, I think Brito is going to be pretty successful with getting Algio to the ground. We've seen Algio getting taken down like a lot in his fights, but Algio is really good at maintaining his composure, using his jiu-jitsu, getting back to his feet. He's shown that he's able to do that actually pretty easily against better grapplers than Brito, better wrestlers than Brito. So don't get me wrong, I expect Brito to take down Algio probably often, but I see Algio getting back up to the feet and controlling that distance again. Tom, you mentioned it. I knew you were a little on the fence, but I think I like fight go to distance here. Algio's been really tough to put away. Only finished once in his career, almost about 8 years ago against Shane Burgos, and he's a top 15 featherweight. Never been finished by any other guy. Joe Anderson Brito has also showed a lot of toughness. I've seen him get clocked before in a fight, drop to his knees, but recover and then end up winning the fight. So yeah, really kind of how I see this playing out and why I like fight goes the distance is, Algio, he shows that toughness that he's not able to be kind of finished. He's been in with better grapplers before than Brito, so I don't see him getting subbed. The only thing that worries me about this play is Brito and his power and Algio's karate stance, man. He has that wide karate stance. Hands are low, and I can just see a big looping shot coming in and clocking Algio and knocking him out cold. And on the other side, I don't see Algio putting out Brito. I don't think he has the power, nor do I see Algio submitting Brito. Brito, in his last fight in the Contender Series, he got put through some pretty crazy submissions, and they looked tight at times, and he was able to get out of them and survive. So I do really like fight goes the distance, but again, I'm a little weary of Brito potentially getting a knockout on Algio. I'm going to do an official unit play, a personal unit on fight goes the distance for this fight. What are you thinking, Tom? Any consensus we can come together for on this one?
I'm thinking the fight to go the distance is the way to go because you're right. Brito's gas tank is going to be questionable. You're going to feel good about this bet if Algio can get through the first round. You're going to feel really good about it going the distance, I would think. So I'm on board for the fight to go the distance. I'm seeing a minus 135 at DraftKings. We can shop that around a bit as well, but 135 I think is a very fair number for what we're getting. And like I said, Brito, if we get through the first round, I think we're going to feel really, really good about that ticket. It's just going to be that initial few minutes.
For sure, man. Yeah, let's go ahead and lock in a unit on fight to go the distance, Brito Algio. I love it.
Okay. So Brito, I'm trying to write these down so we can get them on the website. These will all be posted on on picks.com. We'll get them on there. So we're going fight goes the distance minus 135. And what was our first play?
Our first play was also fight goes the distance, Brahimaj Mcgee. I believe that was in about like the 150 territory, 154, I think.
Yep. Brahimaj. Okay. Let's keep on rolling. That's good. That's 2 picks, and we've got how many fight? We got decent amount of fights left, so we're making good progress, good steady progress. We're not forcing things. We're not. It's fantastic.
All right, so next fight we got Dakota Bush versus Bashalav Borshev. Let's call him Slava. His nickname is the Slava Claus. He actually did a in his Contender Series win. He started singing like Slava Claus is coming to town. It's actually pretty funny. So yeah, call this guy Slava. I ain't trying to pronounce that name every time I'm trying to talk about him. But any picks here you got, Tom? Anything you like?
This was the fight that I wanted nothing. If there was any fight on this card I wanted nothing to do with after my research, this was actually the one I want absolutely nothing to do with.
Totally agree, Tom. I mean, it's your classic striker versus wrestler, grappler. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. This guy could scorch Dakota Bush, or Dakota Bush could just out wrestle this dude for 3 rounds and make him look like a chump on the ground. I mean, it's noteworthy to say that Slava trains at Team Alpha Male, and Team Alpha Male is really known for their wrestling. It's Uriah Faber's gym. So you got to think that this dude is really working hard on his wrestling, because that's obviously his big flaw in his game. I've seen the ability for him to get up a lot easy from those takedowns, and Dakota Bush does really put on a heavy pace in the first, and that gas tank does kind of come in second and third. He does slow down. So I actually have a small official play here that I want to do, but I'm not super confident on it. So I'm going to put a half unit on Slava to get a knockout in either the second or the third round. I think Dakota Bush probably comes out with the wrestling and kind of controls the fight pretty good. And then I see him kind of getting tired, and Slava, he has a pretty good gas tank, and him just being able to put on that kickboxing and kind of knock him out eventually. Dakota Bush, from what I've seen, he is open to counters. And, Slava being a really high-level kickboxer, I think he's had 300 amateur kickboxing fights. I mean, he's all open. He's ready for that counter. And I just think that's a good play for the value at plus 310. I found it. So I think we're in consensus with the 5-unit challenge that this is a skip. But I do like that half-unit play on a second or third round knockout by Slava.
So here, I got my sports betting mind is racing right now. You said you got odds on Slava to knock out in the second or third round, and what was the price on that?
Plus 310.
So, isn't the math better? And I can't do this on, forgive me, but I'm seeing on a lot of them offer you can bet it to do it in round 2 or round 3. Is it worth betting them separate? Because Slava to win in round 2 is plus 500, or to win by knockout, KO, TKO, DQ. Round 2 is plus 500. In round 3, it's plus 1,000. So maybe is it worth doing a quarter unit on either? I can't quite do all that math in my head, but there is math to be done. It's technically the better value, as they say. The plus bet.
Yeah, for sure. I always try to do that math, and I feel like whenever I do that math and whenever I split up my unit rather than keep it into one box, it almost seems like the one box is always more favorable. But I'm sure with these books throwing those bets out there, they could be trying to persuade you from not splitting up, or from not splitting up your unit. So I'm not sure. That's a great point to maybe instead look at maybe splitting those up. We're not going to do the math right now. But I'm going to keep it at a half unit for second or third. But great point, Tom. I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind when we do these episodes in the future.
I think your bet's better. Just on my rough math that I just did in my head, I won't walk you through it, but I think your number is better than those.
Okay.
Final answer.
Love the intuition, but I do love the numbers crunching. I need a numbers guy with me to be able to keep me in check, man.
That's what I'm here for. I'm the numbers guy.
There we go, baby. Moving along, next fight, Caitlyn Chukagian, a Quakertown native. Tom, my boy, is from Quakertown. Versus Jennifer Maia. Who you got here, Tom? I'm wondering.
Well,
everybody's wondering.
Not from Quakertown. I'm the enemy of true Quakertown. So we're technically rivals. Growing up, but now we're in Quakertown, and it's a lovely place. Chookagian here, I have to be all over her. This is like the most biased bet you could ever have. If it was up to me, the last 3 units that we have would be going on Chookagian here. But no, I do like Chookagian. I think she's just a great fighter, an absolute beast. A lot of decisions. I also wanted to look at this to go to the decision a bit, just to do something a little bit different. She's just an absolute beast. That's the way I'm going.
No, couldn't agree more. And I feel like everybody and their mother is playing Chookagian by decision. I think it's just the smartest play in this entire, the bets that you're offered here. Chookagian is just a decision machine. She gets the points. The judges love her. She throws out a lot of volume. She's actually fought Jennifer Maia before, as you can see. This is Jennifer Maia, Chookagian 2. And she really outclassed Maia in the first 2 rounds. She has, if I scroll down here, she has that 4-inch reach advantage. And Chookagian is just so good at her footwork, maintaining distance. And Maia's just not going to be able to get in there and get in enough shots on her, I don't think. I mean, there's a potential for Maia getting her to the ground, and, Maia's going to have the advantage on the ground, and she has, the better grappling. But I just don't see it happening. She doesn't really take a whole lot of shots, actually. I think I saw a stat, something like she's only taken like 4 shots in, I don't know how long, but not a whole lot of shots for, a decorated jiu-jitsu woman. So, I love Chookagian here, and I love it by decision. There's no way in hell she is getting a finish here unless it is like the biggest fluke of all time, man, and some kind of doctor stoppage maybe. But yeah, I love Chookagian by decision.
And this, again, numbers thing is, okay, line open -165 on Chookagian, down to as low as -200 at DraftKings. DraftKings is not the place to bet this. Maybe FanDuel looks pretty good. BetMGM looks great. DraftKings isn't the place to bet this. -200. So we've got some serious line movement towards Chookagian. Now, if we go to just look at Chookagian to win by decision, -$1.25, -125. So we're almost certainly confident that if she is to win this fight, it will be no other way than by decision. So if you're going to back Chookagian, I think the -125-ish to win by decision is pretty much the only way you can reasonably go with this fight if that's the way you're going to bet it.
Totally agree, man. You want to throw a unit on this? I'm all for that. I'm pretty confident in this pick.
I do. -120.
So let's lock it in.
The number to get there.
Cool. -120. We're going to lock that in for 1 unit on the 5-unit challenge with Brady and Ricky. I'm actually going to put 2 units personally on this. That's how confident I am.
Wow.
Doubling up the units, maybe.
Wow. I like that. That makes me feel like we've got a great play. Best. I think that's what we wanted to hear. How many units are you also betting? 5 units on your personal card here? You're going to have 5 units at risk?
So my personal bets tallying up right now, I got 9.5 units that I'm playing in total.
Oh boy, we got some big plays coming.
Not big plays, but just a lot of volume. I got 9 bets out there, which will equal up to 9.5.
Love it.
All right, moving on here. I'm really excited for this fight. I think this is going to be a banger. I love Brandon Royval. So Brandon Royval against Rogerio Bontorin. Flyweight bout. Any thoughts here, Tom?
This was another one that I love Royval too. He's one of my favorite guys to watch, but the market's actually really disagreeing with him. He opened minus 190. He's down to minus 160, 165, 180 in some spots. It's a little bit all over the place, but the market's definitely been moving towards Rogerio, and I'm not sure I necessarily agree with. If I was going to bet this, it was going to be Royval in some way. That's the way I was going to bet this. But when the market tells me that, you know, it's going the other way, Royval lost his last 2 fights, Brandon Moreno, the second to last, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, his last fight, his last time out. Kai France, last victory that he's had. Love this guy. I love what he does, but coming in with a 2 losing streak, plus the fact that the market is clearly moving against you, I'm going to stay away from this one.
Yeah, I totally understand, man. It's definitely a tricky spot here. I mean, Rogerio Bontorin, he's a big guy for the division. He's actually got some serious power on the feet. And he is pretty good with his grappling as well. And coming off against his last loss, Royval lost to Pantoja by rear naked choke. You know, that is a little unsettling to maybe go with Royval. But, you know, I look at it like this. I mean, Royval, he lost to Brandon Moreno by a shoulder injury. His shoulder, like, popped out of place. So, like, he really didn't even get to fight him a full that fight would have went to a second round, we'll just say. And then, you know, Pantoja is another top contender. I mean, he is probably one more win away from probably getting a title fight. If not, he's getting the next title fight. So, you know, I don't take too much heat for him losing that. And Pantoja, he's probably got some of the best, you know, jiu-jitsu in the division, arguably. You know, a lot of these smaller guys, all of them have really great jiu-jitsu. It's hard to not have it and be successful in this division. But I really don't knock him that well. And Bontorin, you know, he does have really good jiu-jitsu. He's known for that as well. But I think other people that Royval has fought, I think their jiu-jitsu is much better. And don't knock on Royval's jiu-jitsu as well. His jiu-jitsu is also very good. He gets a lot of finishes by submission and also a couple ground and pound victories. So, you know, I lean Royval to win in this one. And I do have a couple plays in this one, and I'm playing Royval. So personally, I'm going to put a unit on Royval, but inside the distance. Reason being is I think Bontorin, you know, we've seen in his fight with Kattar France, like you were saying, he actually dominated that whole first round. He had Kattar France's back for like 3.5 minutes. It was looking very bad for Kattar France. Locked in a couple chokes. France was able to break out of that. But France broke out of the body lock, got it back to the feet, and just knocked him out cold. Because I think he just got tired, man. You know, a big guy for the division cuts so much weight, and, you know, that's going to take a lot out of you. And if you've ever seen a Brandon Royval fight, this dude puts on a crazy pace, and he can hold it up. Like, crazy scrambles, constantly throwing punches, constantly going for takedowns. You're scrambling out crazy constantly. I just see Bontorin struggling with his cardio and Royval probably getting it done in the second or third round. So official plays, a unit on Royval inside the distance. I see plus 105 and actually a half unit on Royval by submission in the second or third round. Again, because I think Bontorin, I think that gas tank's questionable. I think he's going to gas out with Royval's pace, and I think Royval's going to put him away.
Interesting. So this ends up being what is one of your bigger, I would say more confident, at least, of a matchup here. Royval, and this is usually a situation where I would agree with you, the kind of that buy low theory, right? Lost his last 2 fights. He seems to be at the point in his career arc that seems a bit low, right? Is he really going to have a chance to be really good in the UFC here or compete for a belt at some point or something after 2 losses like that? It's kind of a nice buy low spot. So I agree with everything that you said. There might be some value in Royval inside the distance, if I'm being honest, just from hearing you talk and the number that it's at. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I see the value in inside the distance at plus money. I mean, barely plus money, but I just think that cardio is really going to come into play here. Royval just push on that crazy pace. Bontorin, we've seen just gas before in the Kaikar France fight, and his last fight with Matt Schnell, the pace wasn't really too high. So hard to tell where his cardio's at when the pace is somewhat not a crazy pace like Royval is going to put on. So yeah, and I think I did forget to mention Royval by sub or in the second or third round. It's actually a plus 470. So a pretty hefty payback there if that hits. So a half unit play there. I don't know, Tom. You think maybe we put a unit on Royval inside the distance?
We've got 2 units left, and I definitely know that this next fight, I definitely have a play that I will insist is in here. So if you have a play in the main event that you really like or that you think we're going to both be in agreement on, I say we skip this one.
Okay. Let's skip it, and then we'll come back to it maybe if we're feeling it, not feeling so hot about the other ones.
Perfect.
All right, co-main event. We got Chase Sherman versus Jake Collier, heavyweight fight. Tom, you said you like to play in here. I'm interested to hear it. What you got?
I'm going over 2.5 rounds, or you can do it to go to the decision. This is a big heavyweight fight, but Collier, if there's anything you know about him, he is Mr. Come out. I will try and knock you out, and if I don't, I'm going to hang on you for the next 10 minutes, 12 minutes, really. And that's just the kind of fight that he finds himself in quite really. If that's going to happen, then I want the over. I want the over 2.5. I think Collier, yeah, he likes to hang on people. Sherman kind of honestly does the same thing. Like, you look at his last 2 fights, Arlovsky and Porter both lose in unanimous decision, was able to get those to go the distance. Villanueva, that was in 2020, the beginning of 2020. That did not go the distance. Last 2 fights you look at and you say, he can go the distance. Collier is the king of, I'm going to come out, I'm going to try and kill you. If I can't kill you, I'm just going to hang on you. So the over 2.5 minus 150 is the play that I like here. I don't necessarily, it's not often at the end of heavyweight fights you see like a big knockout right at the end. But, these are big boys. So I'm not going to play to fight to go the distance if I don't have to. But, over 2.5.
What's the price tag on over 2.5 versus fight to go the distance?
So let me get an updated number for you. So to go the distance is minus. Here we go. Okay. Over 2.5 is now minus 170. And this has changed as of like this morning because I bet this morning. Anyway, I'm looking. Over 2.5 is like minus 170 now. Fight to go the distance is now minus 150. 170, that's a bit steep. So at that rate, I would recommend to go the distance at minus 150. I don't want to lay $1.70 on that play.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, the thing, I like it, the over 2.5 or fight goes the distance. But the thing that scares me is, they're heavyweights, first round. If we can get out of the first round, you're probably all golden with that bet, as you've seen in the past, these guys cardio are just like trash. Collier is just like an overweight heavyweight to say the least. Chase Sherman is at least built up a little bit, but Jake Collier was a middleweight before, and he just got fat, and now he's a heavyweight. So I am nervous in that first round that one of these guys will put each other out. Man, but I don't hate that play. Personally, for me, this was a pass. I didn't want to take any risk on this one because to me, whoever wins the bout, it's probably a coin flip, and the odds probably reflect correctly. Where I definitely lean that this fight will probably go the decision, 7 out of 10 times. Probably, and then those 3 times the fight gets finished somewhere. Um, hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I love this over. I'm telling you, this is gonna be, and this is gonna be dancing at the prom. These two, they're going dancing. Way down on the
Love it, man.
town.
Love it, man. All right, let's lock that in for a
Okay.
unit, man. I'm ready to throw that in for 1 unit on the 5 unit challenge with Brady and Ricky, man.
And here's the thing: Brady and Ricky were telling me, "Oh, you're just gonna copy our picks. You're just gonna." It's like, I think your picks are terrible. Why would I copy these? Copying your picks, horrible.
Now I listened to the show, and I will say I think they went the safe route, man. They took a lot of safe picks. Not to say that ours are the riskiest, but I think we took a little bit more risk, and we went more for the value, But you guys will see their picks on if you go to steadypicks.com. You'll be able to see Brady and Ricky's picks as well as ours and matched up against each other. But yeah, cool.
Yep.
Lock that unit in, baby. I love it. And I'm gonna be
Awesome.
holding my breath, Tom. I'm gonna be holding my breath in that first round. Just praying nobody catches the chin, man.
You'll have to wait. You don't even have to wait the whole first round. You can hold your breath. Literally, you can hold your breath. By the time you're out of breath, they'll be done the fight. They'll just be dancing around.
Love it, man. Love it. All right, man. Last fight. We got the main event. Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze. A really awesome fight. Kattar, big power guy. Chikadze, up and coming. Known for his Giga kick, if you will. Tom, any plays here?
Okay. Well, to be honest, I'm kind of on the over 2.5 or fight to go the distance here as well. The price has gotten way out of hand. So just to give you, and this is why I like this so much, and maybe we're chasing steam here and it's not going to be worth it, but the over 2.5 open -140. It's all the way up to as low as -190, 195 even on DraftKings, and that's the worst line I've seen throughout the day today. So there is some serious movement on the over 2.5, or this fight to get extended, maybe go the distance. And because of that amount of line movement, I've really got to, that means a lot to me. That's some significant line movement. Kattar goes to the distance all the time. You look at his history in the last, 2-3 years. He's gone to the distance. Max Holloway, the distance. Danny Ige. The list goes on. So he tends to distance. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, honestly couldn't agree more, Tom. I mean, Kattar is he takes shots and he keeps going. He's a tough person to fight and a tough person to put away. I mean, we've seen Giga actually come out and finish his last 3 opponents, but one was Cub Swanson, pretty old dude. I don't know, he's 34, 35. And then he just finished Edison Barboza, who's still really good, and he's hard to finish, but he's also really up there in age too. I think he's like 37 almost. So he's finishing these older guys who, now he's here facing, Kattar. He is 33, granted, but in the MMA world, that's close to prime, to be honest. And again, Kattar never been finished in his career. Took a absolute beating from Max Holloway. Took big shots from Max Holloway. And didn't get finished. I mean, don't get me wrong, Max Holloway isn't necessarily a finisher. Like, he's more of a volume striker than a power striker, and he's got just amazing boxing technique. And he doesn't not all about that power and the finishes, but he did take some big heavy elbows in the second round from Holloway, and he was able to withstand that. Yeah, I actually have an official play here. I have 2 units. for the fight to start the third round. This is over on FanDuel at -190. I don't know if it changed or not. So essentially, it's over 2 rounds. We're scrapping that half, and we're getting the same price as what you were saying is over on DraftKings for 2.5.
Yep.
On top of that, I'm putting another unit on Giga to win and the over 2.5 at +120. It's like a little parlay thing they have at DraftKings, so go ahead and check that out. I'm not sure if it's still +120, but it was a couple hours ago when I checked it. So those are my 2 official plays. And yeah, Tom, I couldn't agree with you more. I love the over here. I think Kattar is really durable. Also, I think Giga, he maintains distance really well. And, you know, Kattar's going to rush in and hit him a couple times, but I don't expect him to get knocked out very quickly. Kattar is known for starting kind of slow in the first round. So, yeah, I do really like any kind of over situation here. And to win the fight, you know, I lean Giga. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Kattar comes in and finishes them in the late round. Kattar has really good cardio, and he's tough. He's tough to put away. So it'll be a really great fight to watch. I'm excited to see it. But yeah, lean Giga, and I love the over. So we got one more unit, Tom. You want to put that on fight to start the third round?
I think we should. I think let's verify that's the price when we get done. But I think that's the one that I like. Start the third round. So that's Kattar, and there we go.
Yeah, looking at it now.
Because again, I think that's the best one to have here. That's the play to make, because you look at this fight, and the other thing I wanted to add was I think that Kattar is going to have a bit of value in this fight, simply because people remember that last fight. And again, it's sort of that buy low mentality, you know, where his beatdown against Holloway had everybody thinking, you know, that he kind of stinks. Maybe he's overrated, and this might be a huge one-sided fight. But I don't know. I think to start the third round is the one to make, though.
Yeah, totally agree. And yeah, I would say I think the value here is definitely on Kattar. You know, I might use Chikadze in a parlay, but honestly, if you're betting any kind of money line or a method of victory, like for a finish inside the distance kind of thing, or even a decision play on Kattar's side, I think there's good value in that. Like you said, you know, he got beat up by Max Holloway, but like, who doesn't get beat up by Max Holloway? I mean, Volkanovski is the only one who can really kind of put a close fight on with him. He did have a somewhat close fight against Yair Rodriguez, but I thought that was a clear win for Holloway. But yeah, I mean, Holloway's just on another level. You know, Holloway and Volkanovski are just on another level from any other featherweight. So yeah, I don't take too much from him getting the shit kicked out of him from Holloway. And I do think it's a good buy low spot. At around +200, you could probably find it some books. I'm not going to play it personally, and I actually lean Giga to win. But I definitely don't hate that. I think that's a pretty good play.
Awesome. Our 5 plays will be submitted in soon as this ends. As soon as we get off of here, our 5 plays are going to get submitted. We'll get them put on the site for all day tomorrow. They'll be up there. It'll be fantastic.
Sweet. Yeah. So go and check out steadypicks.com, guys. You will see both our 5 plays and Sean Brady and Ricky's 5 plays as well. And we'll see how we kind of match up together. And I'll be watching Saturday, and I'm pretty confident we're going to kick the shit out of them, man. How are you feeling, Tom?
Oh, absolutely. I with the amount of trash that I talked, we better. That's all I'm saying. Oh, and I also got them to I got Brady to agree, when we win here, they're gonna take us down for a nice brunch, Bloody Marys, the whole thing. It's all on Brady's.
I love that. I love that.
I want to tell you exactly.
Not a bloody guy, but
not
a bloody guy, but I'll settle for a mimosa, man. Love it.
Not a bloody guy. Come on, grow up.
Come on, who likes tomato juice? Like my grandmother likes tomato juice, man.
Yeah, grow up. Exactly.
Yeah, grow up. That might be growing up a little bit too much, man. Someone who's 80, 90 years old. Come on. All right, guys. So that concludes our best bets video, man. Thanks a lot. Shout out to Tom and SteadyPicks.com. Check them out again. Again, free to sign up. Why wouldn't you do it? So go ahead. If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you liked anything we said, you know, and you agree with it, go ahead and leave a comment. If you hated what we said, go ahead and leave a comment. And if you got any other plays that, you know, we didn't really like or we didn't kind of go over, leave them down in the comments, man. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm interested. Look out a little bit later. I have my parlay plays video coming out too. So we're going to be going over, you know, a couple even money parlays and then, you know, a couple juicy ones too. I had a little fun with it. So, yeah, thanks again, Tom, for coming in. And, yeah, we'll see you guys next time.